What's cracking, my people? Welcome back to Essential Apparel. So today we're going to be talking about embroidered patches and how easy it is to get embroidered patches done on a 360 IQ hat press. So for those of you that aren't familiar with this machine, it heats from the top, it heats from the bottom. Let me get you a close up on this. So there it is right there. This is the latest and greatest from Hottronics in regards to hat press machines. This is kind of the future of what's going on with hats right now. These are money making just killers right here. So it heats from the top, heats from the bottom, digital display. You can program all kinds of different hats in here. So if you don't know anything about this machine, watch my review video and it'll tell you all about it. But today, yes, we're talking about embroidered patches. So I'm going to tilt this up just a little bit. Embroidered patches. Boom, that's a professionally, let me zoom in on this, professionally embroidered patch. So we get down on these patches here at Essential Apparel, and then we've got the sticky back adhesive. So we're gonna go ahead and take these patches and we're gonna apply them in this setup here. So at Essential Apparel, we do custom embroidery and hats. So this is a client's order, but we're showing you how it's done. So today we're using the yupoong 5-panel hats. So here I go ahead and peel this off because we don't want those on there. I find that if you leave them on, sometimes the residue can stay on the hat a little bit. So what we're going to do is take this out. Now, of course, if you've seen my other videos, fold this out. So you want to fold that out. So our temperature settings on this one and timers are going to be temperature on the top 280, temperature on the bottom 320, and then of course I personally use a pressure of about 8 and 9 on the machine, and then I've got a preheat at about 12 seconds. I'm using of course a silicone topper so that I don't scorch or burn the hats, just to do the preheat. And then on my secondary timer I've got a full 65 seconds. Okay, so your first timer is your preheat. If you feel you don't need it, then don't apply it. And then my second timer, 65 seconds. So here we go. Boom. Place that on there, just like so. Let me go ahead and bring this on in here. Okay, so there we go. Boom. These hats fit very nicely on there. And then of course we're going to do the preheat. Now remember, I always use this to protect my bill vertically, and then I place the silicone pad on here just because I don't feel like burning, scorching, or doing anything to the hat. So this is going to be a quick 12 seconds. So normally it would be 6 seconds without the silicone pad. Because we're using the silicone pad, we're doubling the time to 12. So just something to kind of loosen up the hat a bit, just to kind of get it to sit very nice and tight. Now we're going to take the patch with the adhesive backing. We're going to go ahead and center that up with the design. And once you get used to doing one patch, you're going to kind of get used to the other. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to press on the corners of that patch. I'm going to dig into the hat just a little bit to kind of place that patch. Remember, that heat is coming from underneath, so you're kind of actually setting that patch a little bit with the adhesive. Then of course I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper. You can take, this is a piece of just newsprint. Place that on the patch because I do not want to stain my foam pad. Lay that pad, oh, a little static there. Lay that pad down, and then of course, as always, bill protector once again. Boom. Now this is our 65 second timer. There we go. So pressure of 9, 65 seconds, good to go. So yeah, a lot of people have wanted to get in the game of doing embroidery, but some just don't know how, and some don't want to because a lot of companies, they just do some silly crappy, stitching. It's very loose stitching. It's not very like every single patch may look different. They're not very consistent with the quality. These ones right here, through us, very consistent on the quality. I can't complain. You know, very tight stitching. Love it. So here is a finished result here. So you can see that result there on the hat. I mean, just some close-ups. Very nice, very tight. Very simple to do. Again, this hat press, game changer when it comes to this kind of stuff. Now, what I like to do when I take this off right here, I like to press on the four corners of the patch. I kind of dig them into the hat a bit. The reason why I do that is because I found that sometimes as the hat's cooling, the patch kind of wants to maybe release ever so slightly from the corners. So by digging those corners in, I dig these corners in just a little bit. I dig all four corners in just a little bit. And then what I do is I let this hat sit for about a minute. And then after a minute, I put my hand in the back and I kind of press on those corners just a little bit more, just to kind of make sure that these corners are adhering, okay? And by doing so, you're going to guarantee that you get a beautiful result every single time. So how long would it take you compared to what I just did there? How long would that take you to embroider with a machine? For those that want to do that kind of stuff, fantastic. Not me. I like my time. I like my time. I mean, yeah, it's a great way to open up embroidery for a company if that's what you're trying to do, is spend your time doing all that. But what's your time worth? You know what I mean? Me personally, I'd rather just order these and call it a day. So I'm going to do one more real quick. I'm just going to set it up. Once again, here's your preheat. 12 seconds. Boom. So again, push down on those four corners. It helps get those four corners right in that fabric, gets that glue going. Get your paper, your foam pad down, and 60 seconds or 65 seconds done. So that's the point, everybody. What is your time worth? You know what I mean? What's your time worth and how much money do you want to make, okay? I personally don't want to be loading hats constantly into a machine and then, you know, stitching and then hoping nothing's going to happen to that machine while it's doing all that. I'll let someone else worry about that, and then I'll come over here and I'll just make money, and you know, we'll go ahead and press these patches. So that's the great thing about heat press embroidered patches, is you can take these patches, heat press them on, and you're going to have the same results as you would if you took them into an embroidery place and had them done. The thing is, this is probably going to be cheaper going this route than if you did go into an embroidery place and get it done in there. They're more than likely going to be more expensive. So quite honestly, for the price of what they're going to charge me, I'd rather buy this machine here that's going to make me more money, not only on embroidery, but leather patches that I've shown you guys before in other videos, but other stuff as well. Vinyl, flex emblems. I mean, you name it, this thing can do it. I mean, this thing even does t-shirt tags. I mean, it's just awesome. So there we go. Once again, as it's cooling, I'm kind of just pressing on these four corners just to really make sure that the corners are adhering, and then boom, we've got one high-end professional result that you can rock or be ready to sell in your store. So there it is, guys. Within just a few minutes, we were able to rock and roll about 2 hats with embroidered patches already. How long would that take versus what we just did here? So that's the beauty of doing these kind of patches. And also the other beauty about doing these kind of patches is you don't have that itchy, crappy sensation on the other side of the hat. Okay, that's the one thing that really annoys me about embroidery, is unless you're spending high-end money to get softer backing and for them to really smooth out the backing in the back, you're going to pay more for something like that. Where here you get the custom embroidery on the front, which looks super high-end, but you get the nice smoothness of the hat in the back without all that itchy stitching poking through. So worth it in my opinion. I prefer that myself. So there it is in a nutshell, guys. How to do 3D embroidery on hats with the 360 IQ. Again, this is Essential Apparel. If you like this channel, if you like this video, keep rocking with us. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, y'all.